Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson. Thank you so much for joining me as I am here to give my spoiler-free thoughts on Black Widow. Oh my god, it's finally here. It's finally happened. I've finally seen it. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am, although that would be weird if I couldn't tell you, because then why am I here with this video? I don't know. My lord, so this film has been a huge deal to me personally, as well as just in general for what it means for everyone. I mean, you know, and it was kind of a fun, if not cruel, ploy by Disney or Marvel or whoever's responsible for it, because when we were sitting in the theater last night watching it, like about to watch it, trailers are on and all that, they actually played the trailer, that like reel of like, here's everything that's happened so far, here's what's coming, Stan Lee narration, that whole, you know, we'll see you at the movies, you know, sort of thing that they put out a few weeks ago, that I cannot watch without crying. So they put that on during the trailers, and I was welling up again, and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, literally about to watch Black Widow. It's finally happening, and they're doing, fucking well done, Marvel. But anyway, that aside, I really enjoyed Black Widow. I thought it was very much worth the wait. You know, we've been waiting. Not only have we've been waiting nearly 18 months for this. It feels, well, how many months is that? 15 months since it was originally supposed to come out. But then that aside, I feel like this movie really should have happened a long time ago. It would have even been better, I think, if they had been able to release it between, or make it and release it between Civil War and Infinity War, because that's when it's set. And yeah, we know it's a prequel, and, you know, that's fine, but, you know, she deserved her own movie years ago, so I don't know why it took them this long to actually make one. Like, why it took the character's death in the series for them to go, oh, let's give her her own film. You know, the characters, you know, the response from the fans, maybe. I mean, I don't know when exactly Kevin Feige was first like, we're giving Scarlett her own movie. This could have been in the works for a few years. I don't know when. I'm sorry, I don't know when. So forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn. But it should have happened years ago anyway. But alas, we're here. It's here. It's happened. It's finally out. And it's the first time seeing a Marvel film in cinema since Spider-Man Far From Home 2 years ago. So that's, again, also huge. But no, I loved it. I will admit that I did have high expectations for it, probably because of the delays, probably because of what it means to me in terms of, you know, this is the beginning of Phase 4, this is Black Widow finally getting her own movie, the fact that, you know, this is the first Marvel film I'm seeing in a cinema for 2 years, you know, and this is where these movies should be. As much as I adore the series on Disney Plus, watching, you know, almost nothing compares to watching a Marvel film on the big screen for the first time. And to get to have that experience again last night was just wonderful. So I feel like that maybe tainted my expectations on the film a bit, because I did find it underwhelming in certain parts. Like, I think I internally overhyped it for myself. That being said, I still really enjoyed it. It was great to see Scarlett Johansson shine in this. For me, the film, I'm not going to spoil too much really at all, but for me the film didn't really come together properly for me until the third act. Like, it was great, like I was enjoying it throughout the whole run, like it was awesome, but I didn't really feel like this was Scarlett's movie until the end, because it still kind of felt like she didn't have enough moments of standing on her own sort of thing. And I get that she's at the start of the film, you know, and this isn't a spoiler because we know this, you know, because she's on the run following the events of Civil War, right? So you know, obviously there's probably not going to be much of a thing in terms of, you know, her being out in the open fighting or whatever. I don't know. So she's trying to lay low, obviously, and figure out her next move, which is when everything, you know, which is when the plot hits her and is like, oh, okay, I'm, you know, I have to do this stuff now, which is great. But I mean, I did really enjoy the duo between her and Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova. I really like Yelena as a character. And I just simply adore Florence Pugh as an actress. She's so talented. She's so good. Honestly, if you can handle horror films, watch her in Midsommar, and you will, you know, you will just be floored. She just gives, an incredible performance in that film, and she brings her A game here, goes toe-to-toe with Scarlett. You know, she's an MCU pro. She's been doing it for, you know, since Iron Man 2, you know, back in 2010, so it's a long time ago now. And yeah, so I like the two of them. I loved this found family we have with, you know, Alexei, Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, and Melina, played by Rachel Weisz. I really adored the whole dynamic. When the four of them were on screen together at the same time, you know, those moments were really great. And, you know, especially Alexei, he's the comedic relief of this movie. And it doesn't ever feel forced. David Harbour is very good at comedy, I think. And, you know, he just kind of embodies Alexei with this, like, you know, this ego that shouldn't be there, because he's, you know, he thinks he's as good as Captain America. Like, you know, not the first time we meet him, but when we catch up with him later in the film, he's like telling stories about how he fought against Captain America and all this stuff. It's very funny. So I really enjoyed the comedy from him. He was fantastic. But yeah, it still kind of felt too much like an ensemble piece for Scarlett to really shine on her own. And for me, she didn't do that until the end. And when she did, and I loved it. That's when I was gripped to the screen fully then. Like in the whole final act, it was brilliant. Best part of the film. I loved her getting to have that hero moment, you know, that she deserves. So that was really good. And then one other thing I will say before I wrap up, because this is only going to be a brief little video. I'm not going to be waffling on for too long. But Taskmaster, MCU debut of this very famous character from the comics. The general vibe from me and my friends after we saw the film was, unfortunately, slightly disappointed on the handling of Taskmaster. I mean, visually stunning, visually impressive. The stunt choreography in this entire film, and especially with Taskmaster having to, you know, exactly copy and match what their opponent's style of fighting is. That's how he works. You know, like, that stuff was all really cool and everything. But and I got the reveal. They do reveal who's under the mask, I will say. And I got why they chose that reveal for the film and for the story. It made sense. But I don't know. I was feeling, you know, Taskmaster kind of had a lot of Winter Soldier vibes. And whilst I love Winter Soldier, it's already been done, and I don't think we needed to kind of do that again. So not as good as I would have liked, unfortunately, with Taskmaster. But still entertaining, still good. I mean, you know, just the stunt choreography, the fighting in this is super impressive. But probably my favorite thing about the film is all of the references to events outside of this film. So especially Avengers 1, we get a lot of callbacks to Avengers 1 in dialogue, and in, you know, in certain scenes, certain things that are done, places we visit in the movie. So I won't ruin what those are, but I was very, very happy still such a fan of the first Avengers. Like, it still holds such a special place in my heart. It really, really helped me to enjoy this film on a different level than if you're a casual fan. And again, that's one of the things that I've always said Marvel does really well. The MCU, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, they understand the fans, and they understand if you're committed, they put these layers in there that you'll get, things you'll understand. So, and it's just great. They reward you for being a fan, and it's awesome. So we get, heaps of references to Avengers 1, references, of course, to Civil War, and to Age of Ultron as well. And you know, we learn about Natasha's past, of course. We've seen a little bit of that in the trailers. So it's really good. Like, I can't wait to watch it again, honestly. I think it's, I would have liked more. I feel like it was not almost perfect, but you know, it just slightly fell short of my expectations. And again, I will say that's probably on me for that. If it had come out when it was supposed to, if the pandemic had never happened and everything had gone according to whatever plan, you know, or the sacred timeline maybe, then maybe the hype wouldn't have been as big going into this, and I may have taken it as face value and gone, okay, I'm happy with that. That's fine. But it doesn't really ruin the overall impact and effect the movie has, because it is really good. It is very entertaining, a visual spectacle, great performances all around from the cast. And make sure, of course, if you're watching this, you're probably an experienced Marvel viewer. There is a post-credit scene right at the end, of course, and you will want to stick around, because that is where we get our setup for what's gonna happen going forward. And I'm not going to say anything else other than please go watch Black Widow. Please go support cinemas, whether they're independent or massive chains. They need your love and support during this time to rebuild. And the fact that we can go and see Marvel movies again now is just, I know there are bigger problems in the world, but it's nice to be able to have some normalcy in everything that's happened, and finally get back to doing the things that we love doing. And for me, it's seeing these movies on the big screen. So Black Widow, if I had to give it a score out of 10, I'd probably say 7.5, that range. 7.5, maybe an 8, sort of floating around there. I really am very indecisive as a person, so I cannot lock it down for you, but that's how I'm feeling about it. I will be doing a deeper dive into my thoughts on Black Widow with spoilers in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that if you want to hear what I truly think of the minute details that happened in this film. Stick around for that. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, guys. Until next time, I've been a Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings.